to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Fabianne Gershon, director of the Thypin Oltchick Institute for Entrepreneurship in Women? For women, good, for women. And that's a division of the federal...
It's a division of FEGS.
Of FEGS. And FEGS is what?
Federation Employment Guidance Services.
Okay, fine. You can see
75-year-old organization.
Right. You can see that this is a mouthful. Anyway, having said that, thanks for being on the show. I'm glad that you helped me with all the pedigrees. Okay, so let's go back to what you do, Fabianne, right?
Correct.
Yeah, correct. Okay. You're the Thypin Oltchick Institute is a resource for female entrepreneurs.
Correct.
You're like a matchmaker.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what we decided.
You really kind of make happy marriages go, but it's a business marriage.
Right.
Correct? Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, when the family, the Thypin Oltchicks, started this about 2006 in honor of their mother, who had run a huge steel business, Gertrude.
Gertrude Oltchick.
Gertrude Oltchick.
Hi.
I went around and interviewed all the other agencies and services like the Small Business Administration people to see what they offered so that we could be something different. And what I found out were that there were just so many organizations out there trying to help women, men start businesses. But no one knew how to find them or where they were or how to get to them or know what they offered.
And even when you got there, sometimes they were a bigger bureaucracy unto themselves. You're laughing, but I mean, you know.
Actually, yes. So what we decided to do was bring them all together, which they really hadn't been before. And we brought them under one roof as exhibitors, and we put on panels and informational sessions for women who wanted to start a business. What we learned...
So you made an umbrella.
We made an umbrella, exactly. And we learned that the women that were coming to us were highly educated. The demographics were very interesting. Over 36% are over 50. Most of them fall in the 30 to 50 age range. 81% are college educated. Half of those have advanced degrees. And these are the women that, in the beginning, who really wanted to look at what they could do after they retired, baby boomers, and then what hit the recession.
I see. So it started out as a what to do if you've retired from the corporate world, and then it became what to do to make a living.
It became what to do, make a living, and it became every age, every demographic you can imagine.
Because as it stands now, I think that there are more men unemployed than women.
Well, we do have men. We found that men during the recession started to come. They asked if they could be counseled, and they asked if they could listen to the same kind of advice that we were giving women. And of course we said yes.
Well, to tell you the truth, is there a big difference between advice you give a woman versus a man in starting a business?
No.
I mean, I don't see what the gender counts at all.
The gender only counts because women get short-shrifted.
Well, that's true.
Men seem to have business networks. They
Yes.
seem to have a different background educationally that prepares them just a little bit better. We find that a lot of our women are in the creative arts or what we call the soft side. Now I'm seeing many women in technology. I see doctors, lawyers, veterinarians, everything you can imagine, every highly skilled individual looking to start their own businesses. But men always had a leg up, and there were just more resources for men.
Is there a difference between men and women taking rejection?
I haven't seen that so much.
That's good. That's
yeah.
good. That's good. Okay, so you're a matchmaker. Let's talk about some of the things that people should really think about before they go into business. They come to you with a business plan or a business model, or maybe they don't even have that. Maybe all they have is an idea. I don't know. So how do you start? How do you get started, Fabianne?
I ask questions.
Such as? What kind
I see
of
a
things
lot
do you
of
ask?
people one-on-one. What are your skills?
So you first I say, what is your talent like? What do you,
right.
What, yeah.
What kind of skills? I mean, if you have someone who wants to start a painting contractor company, you have to make sure they've painted a few walls in their life and that they understand and know what they're doing,
right.
or that they've got to go and get some sort of education to do this. You have people who walk in who think that it would be really nice to have a baby boutique, and they may not have a baby boutique.
Yeah, right.
And they've never had a child. So you have to start to look at things and say, look, why do you want to do this? What are the skills that you have?
So you really start at ground zero.
If somebody is very quiet and shy and retired, should they be selling in a storefront, expensive garments or stationery supplies? Or if there's someone who's always done something in the math line, should they be trying to design toys? They're not that necessarily a designer.
So first you get to the point, is there a match between the person and the business the person wants to go into?
Exactly.
Okay. So after you get to that point, what's the next thing? Do you start with the finances? Can you afford to do this?
Well, we look to see if we have on our website a bunch of questionnaires that you can take, like a self-examination, a self-evaluation, and you grade them. They're not engraved in stone, but you can grade, you take the test. Do I have stamina? Will I persevere no matter what? Do I have my family and friends helping me? All sorts of questions, and you give them a number.
Can I live without
Can I
live without a salary?
Exactly. Can I live in a lesser means for a while, or
money to invest, or
all kinds of questions.
I'm sometimes surprised at the naivety of people that want to go into business.
And so they can take this quick little test, score themselves, and they can find out where they are on the chart of real entrepreneurship. It takes skill, some sort of skill that matches what you want to do. That's number one. Where are you going to get the clients and customers? Right. Who's going to walk in? Just that wonderful movie that gave us that great line, you build it and they will come. Not true all the time.
Well, I get surprised at the number of storefronts I see, after a lot of it, where the proprietor of that store moved out and somebody else moves in doing almost the same thing. And I think, what, do you think you're smarter than the guy that left you? If that person before you wasn't making money there as being a spa or something, what makes you think that you're going to be making money there's a spa? There seems to be, like a...
Well, that's a very good point, because you're an entrepreneur. You've had some fabulous businesses, and you're an entrepreneur in this environment right now. So you know that if you haven't had the experience and you haven't looked to who's going to buy it, who are you selling to, who's your audience, what are you doing? What's your market for what you want? And can you make any money in it? What does it cost you to produce the service? How much do I want to make an hour writing for other people or doing public relations for someone else? And how much is that going to cost me, and how much do I have to charge? If I want to make a cradle, a fancy cradle for a baby, how much does it cost me to manufacture that? Where am I going to manufacture it? Have I resources?
The quality and
exactly.
The whole, all those issues. But you help with all those issues.
We try to, yes.
Do you guys have a good track record?
We have the same track record, if not better, than I think everyone else in this sector. It is very hard to quantify who has really been successful and who isn't. Now, according to our demographics for our institute, and I must tell you, people answer the questions we ask them.
And you start with a pretty sophisticated demography,
right.
The demography you've said.
We just did some statistics and found out that we had 46% of our people have started a business over the last 4 years. That's over 800 people. That doesn't mean they're all working in the business, but many of them are. And when you look at that possibly that created anywhere from 800 to 1,500 jobs if they just hired one person. So we're pleased about that. We're there. People call me all the time. They started a business, they pick up the phone. should I take a hotel room? This is a jeweler, a woman who sets fine jewelry and designs it. Should I take a hotel room to do my Christmas sales? And what hotel should I go into? You know, and you have to ask the question, who are you aiming at? What's the spectrum of the person? What kinds of things are you selling? And what's the age, you know, the price range? And once you get through that, you can sort of give them advice. But I get that to, I'm a midwife. I mean, I'm really a PhD. I'm doing social work. I really want to be a midwife. I've trained for it, but I have 6 kids, and I really can't stop my day job. How do I do that? How do I start a business as a midwife? I think that was one of the more satisfying people that I helped last year in trying to show her how we had to do it gradually. Some people think, okay, if they have the funding, great. A lot of women don't. You know, single households, heads of households with children, I think the statistics came out a couple of weeks ago, was very high. It was over 50%. And I was really surprised to see that. So you have a lot of women who are responsible for taking care not only of themselves, their mothers, their fathers, but their children. Right. And they don't really have the funds to just stop their day job if they have one.
Isn't it a good idea, if you can, to continue your day job and use your evenings or your weekends to sort of build this business that you want to go into? Isn't that a good way to hedge the bet?
Perfect. It's the best way. In fact, with this particular woman, just using her as an example, we got her to go to her local churches in her neighborhood and synagogues and temples and whatever, to talk to the women about it, what she wanted to do, because it turned out her neighborhood was one where there were lots of people, babies being born, and lots of women who would like to know who they're dealing with.
Yeah, and as I said, we have only really only a minute left, but I want to get this point across. Not only do you guys, you have a new loan program also, by the way.
Yes, we do.
And people go on
your
website.
Very thrilled about it.
Yes, that sounds good. But the thing I want to point is that even after you help a person get started, you're telling us now, you provide this continued mentorship.
Exactly. In fact, the loan fund, which we're really pleased about, is coming in through a woman named Vicki Miles Weiner, who is behind it and who is giving it to us, is all about mentoring. You cannot get a loan, if you qualify, without having a mentor, because that's part of what makes you successful.
Yeah, exactly. And while it's not more important than money, it certainly is equally as important.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm a female entrepreneur.
You certainly.
Right. So, I mean, your topic interests me very much. Do you guys use consultants? Who do you?
Consultants for
mentoring, or?
We are using women who are giving their time. Look, there are so many women who've been through the workforce. They're not ready to retire. And they, you know, it's called sort of capital intelligence, I think.
It's a new form. Human capital. Human capital. Right.
They want to share it. They don't want to die and not have someone know what they spent their whole life learning.
And also, it's really a very good feeling to help other women. After all, we have maybe 30 seconds after that. You talked about the all-boy network. Why should we have an all-girl network?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll use me.
I hope so.
Okay.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you very much. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. I'm Judith West, host, and our guest today is Fabianne Gershon, director of the Thypin Oltchick Institute for Entrepreneurship, now men and women, but we're focusing today on women. Thanks for watching.